Hello everyone, Coach Taylor here. It's so good to be here with you guys and to be able to share with you what we have been studying in our group study. We've been studying a subject called Get Out of Your Head, and in that study we actually have been studying this devotional written by Jeannie Allen, and it has been great. She's a great Christian devotional and author, and devotional writer and author, and we have really enjoyed studying, and just want to share some things that we have been studying actually on yesterday in our little study group. We have been talking earlier on about capturing your thoughts. Being in control of your thoughts, because what you think, you react on. And so as we've been discussing that particular topic, I came across this author in some of her writings, and she's an amazing writer, and it just lined up with everything that we have been discussing on capturing your thoughts. And so we started studying her book on last week, and so I just want to share some key things that we discussed, and this discussion came from the different things that she shared in her book, and it just falls back on what we've been studying, like taking every thought captive, and how once a thought hits the mind, it's two ways to handle it. Either you continue to think on that thing and act on that thought, or you have the ability to change that thought. And we all have always thought that, our thoughts or our mind is set in just one way. But we need to get out of our heads, because we all live there. So many times we find ourselves in our heads, just living there, and we feel like, because it's the way we feel about a thing, that's the way that it is, and that's not true. Things change. Our thoughts can change, and I want you to be aware of, maybe because you were, brought up a certain way and you were told this is the way things are going to be. That's not necessarily how it has to be. And so I'm going to give you a minute to get some pen and paper, because I want you to write some key things down for those that are here with me, in the studio, but also you guys that are out there listening that maybe listen to this once it's posted on YouTube or the podcast. Get a pen and a piece of paper, because there's some things that I think you'll want to write down. Just some simple things to remember, to write down, and just remember. And I'm just going to read this little insert out of her book, out of her devotional. Every thought captive. She's like, really? We once thought of the mind as an immutable thing. The brain you were born with and the way it worked or didn't were just how it was. No sense fretting over that. It can't be changed. We now know that the brain is constantly changing, whether or not we intend for it to or not, and that is so true. And that little insert, I wanted to read it because we have been discussing that in our little women's group. We have been discussing how we are to take our thoughts captive so that we can be on top of our life, living our life the way that we want to, and not allowing things to hold us back. And with this in mind, and hoping that you'll discover that you really can break free from those spiraling thoughts that you have. And I appreciate if Miss Allen hears this. We appreciate you allowing us to use your book. She actually gave us permission to use her book, her devotional, to study together and teach. And I can use them in my studies and teachings, and I'm so appreciative of that, because I love her devotionals, because somehow they just always line up with what we're talking about and what topic we choose to discuss. And the studies that even I myself have done concerning the mind and how the mind works and the changing, and with me using NLP when I'm doing my life coaching and discussing things with the group, it really sheds even more light. So I appreciate her studies and her sharings as well, because she also said in her book how she began to see that pattern in many of us, as people, and I see the same thing in our emotions, how our emotions were leading those thoughts, and those thoughts were basically dictating our life. And we have to take control of that, because our thoughts and our emotions will control your life in your day-to-day and always. It'll control how you react to people, how you respond to people, how you respond to your responsibilities, how you respond to your life itself and the outcomes of those things that you may want to do in life. Your thoughts, your emotions, can interfere with those things flowing in your life. Someone may say the wrong thing to you. They may say, oh my goodness, how do you think you can do that? And it just throw you back. You can allow it to throw you back. Oh, that hurt my feelings. But maybe they're right, I can't do it. So you can't allow those thoughts and emotions to control you. You have to take a step back and say, I'm not going to allow that to control me. I'm just going to throw that out. I'm not going to hold on to that one. No, thank you. I want it. So you don't want to go round and round and round, spinning around in those thoughts and in those emotions, and it just become an endless cycle of spiraling. You're going round and round the same circle, and you never break free and do the things that you desire to do in life, because you allow your thought life, your mind, your mindset. Your mind can break you or make you. So you have to break away and interrupt those things and become in control of your thoughts. And you control your thoughts, and not your thoughts control you, as I stated in the last conversation that I had with you guys in the study. Now, what if instead of spending our energy spending it trying to fix all these things, and we went to the root of the problem? The root of the problem, the reality is that our emotions are a byproduct of the way that we think. That's in her book. And when I read that, I was like, that is so on point. That is what we've been talking about. It's so on point. And it's good news to know that we actually have control of that thing. We can take control of our thoughts, we can take control of our minds, and we know that is true because the Word of God said to take those thoughts captive. It's what the Apostle Paul just we mentioned in the conversation. I like to call it conversation. In the conversation that we had in the last meeting, and I'll say on this YouTube as well, because I'm talking to you guys as it is being listened to here on YouTube. We can take captive those thoughts. The Apostle Paul understood this. He understood the war that takes place in our minds. Those how circumstances that happen throughout our life and situations that happens in our lives sometimes can become, as she called it in her devotional, and I love that, it can become a weapon, and that weapon can undermine our faith and our hope. Can't say it any better. Somebody said, just like she stated in her devotional, it can undermine us, undermine our faith and our hope, and it can just take control of our lives if we allow it. So the Word of God says in 2 Corinthians 10:5, according to the Word, Apostle Paul wrote, take every thought captive to obey Christ. And allow yourself to have that mind that He has given you. He said He has given us the mind of Christ. And I believe Christ was the smartest. Now, I won't say pretty smart, I'll say the smartest. So we have His mind, and you're smart. You're smart. You can take captive of those thoughts, and nothing can control your thought life but you. You control your thought life. Take every thought captive. And is it possible? It is, because He said that it is. You know, our thoughts can sometimes run so crazy. I know mine can. I admit that. And sometimes I have to grab a hold. Wait a minute. That's not how it really is. And if we dive deep within ourselves and pull that strength out that God has actually placed within us and make a quality decision that I'm going to do the work on the inside. I'm going to take control of my life, of my thoughts, of my life, of my thoughts, of my life. And I'm going to be in control of me. Taking those thoughts captive. Being in control. The Bible said that we can take every thought captive. Not only can our thoughts be changed, not only can we take those thoughts captive, but we ourselves can change those thoughts. I know that we can, because I have to do it myself. And I have learned to take those thoughts, step back and say, wait a minute, you're not going to control me. I am in control of you. And you're going to think like this, because this is reality. That is just something that the enemy wants me to think. And normally when we're in fear of something, or we're concerned and worried over something, it's not really what it is anyway. It's not going to even turn out that way. And you have control of that. So, what are we going to do? We're going to take those thoughts captive that we just said can sometimes undermine us and be weapons and cause us to fail in so many areas of our life. We're going to take captive those every thought, and we're going to decide that we're going to be successful in our thoughts, which will cause us to be successful in our decisions and our actions. So glad you decided to be here with me today, to tune in into my channel, our channel. And I am so excited that our next discussion that my husband will be joining us, and we were going to continue to further talk about this, and he's going to share some things with you, so I can't wait until we share that next video with you here on YouTube. And I can't wait to be in the studio with you guys as well, with him, as he shared with us his thoughts as well on getting out of your head. So let's, and I, continue to work on that. I will myself, as I encourage you to. And I encourage you to look for Jeannie Allen's book, Get Out of Your Head. It is a wonderful book. So if you'll join me here next time, we can study together and talk together in conversation. I like calling this a conversation. So until next time, you guys there on YouTube, have a wonderful day. You guys here in the studio, have a wonderful day as well. Look forward to meeting with you guys next week. And I will see you guys here on YouTube on the next discussion, the next conversation. Don't forget to hit the like button and follow us here on YouTube. Kim and Sherman Taylor, life coaches. So, Christian life coaches. So see you next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Shalom.